Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 2, Episode 210. And that yesterday was a little interesting with the timing. It was Episode 209. I started it at 2:09 p.m. and I just looked at the published time, and it was 2:09 a.m. So, kind of weird. Anyway, heading off to work this morning. It's a cold day outside, 43 degrees, and this will be the high for the day. So by this afternoon and this evening, it'll be below freezing, and it'll go down into the mid-20s tonight. Tomorrow will be below freezing when I leave the house. So really have to examine everything and what I want to do. Luckily, I have time. I'm going to be at work, and I'm going to have time to look at my gambling and get my plans ready and all that, do some staging. So I am off to work this morning. It's still dark outside, cold, still raining. So we'll see what happens. Yesterday was a decent day, not a great day. I'd say for last week, I give myself an A, maybe even an A plus for everything that I did and how I acted and what I accomplished and all that kind of stuff. But yesterday I give myself probably a B minus. There was a lot of downtime. There was a lot of playing okay plays, and I don't really like doing that. So anyway, letting you go for now, and I'll be back after, well, I guess when I go to lunch, I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. So went into the office and caught up on my work, took care of a couple short meetings, and got everything done for the day. It is 9:55 a.m. and left my laptop at my desk. I can handle everything else through my cell phone, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a trip today. I've also been working on some plans for travel. I will be in the South at the end of November, most likely, and I will be in Vegas, most likely, in December, and I'm planning a trip to London in March. So more of a family thing, but I may be able to get a little bit of play in while I'm there. I should be there about a week. So yeah, those things are all coming up. I just need to continue on this right track right now. Had a decent day yesterday, but we're going to build on it. So first stop right now is going to be a slots-only casino, and then we're going to go directly to a blackjack casino, most likely, and I'll update you. Right now, temperature is 43 degrees. I'm going to continue to drop from here, and it is raining. So hopefully by the time I get back, it'll still be above freezing, but you never know. Worth the risk. So letting you go for now, and I'll be back. Alright, guys, I am back. So I'm wondering if anyone in England or anyone that travels to England, I know one friend who does, and I'll be in touch with him too, and I know some people who live there, but the issue that I'm having with setting up these flights and a place to stay is I have a large family, and the biggest rental car I can find holds 5 people, and that's definitely not going to be enough for me. So I got the flights figured out, I think, going through either Chicago or Toronto and then heading out there. And then when we get there, I looked at some like Verbo and all those different things, and I'm finding things, but I'm wondering if that's the best way to go or not. Now, I don't know Europe that well, so I haven't been there in about 15 years, so don't make fun of me here if I get this wrong, but the plan is to land in London and then kind of use that as a staging area. Maybe that's not the best staging area, but I thought maybe 10 or 20 minutes outside of London, and then we're planning on going to Ireland, Scotland, France, Germany, Luxembourg, and what's see, I did it to myself. I shouldn't have said anything until I got everything figured out. What's just east of Luxembourg. I will get it here. I will get it. Belgium and maybe Netherlands. So if I can hit those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries in like 7 or 8 days, I'd be so happy. But I got to figure out how I'm going to do this. I know there's trains. What is the best way to travel with a large family? So if anybody knows the answer to that, I would really appreciate it. It would help me out a lot. And if you're in Europe, I know we have a lot of listeners in Europe. We have a lot of listeners in Sweden. I don't know why, but we have a lot of listeners there. A lot of listeners in England. We have listeners all over Africa, all of Europe. It's amazing how many countries, even like Georgia and countries like that, we've got viewers, or listeners. So I really appreciate all of you. I don't know how you put up with me with all the different things that I talk about, but I really appreciate it. But if you can help me in this, I would really appreciate it. Is it better to stay at a hotel? Is it better to rent a house? The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking maybe we should just go to hotels, and that way we can stay in a different country and not have to come back every night and all that. So anyway, letting you go for now, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I went into the first casino and I saw play immediately and got burned immediately. I was down about 125, and then all the remaining plays I found from there on were pretty much small plays. And I was able to struggle back and just barely get ahead. Ended up leaving plus $30. So while I was there, I saw a friend and talked to him for a little while, and he was explaining to me how poorly he was doing, and meanwhile he was sitting at a machine that was not in position, and he's telling me how so-and-so person played this machine and it worked out for them and all this. So, some people just want to go by gut and feeling, and that's the way that this guy is. And he's trying to make a living doing this, but he loses money every day. And I asked him about, where do you get your money? And he's like, well, usually from one of my girlfriends, because my wife won't give me money anymore because I have 5 girlfriends. And some of my girlfriends won't give me money because I'm married. It's like, jeez, wow, this guy's a busy man, and he's got kids, and he has to leave the casino where he's playing slots to go pick up his kids from school and then come back to the casino. What a crazy life. Just awful. Anyway, right now I'm continuing on to the next spot. Still raining. Looks like it's clearing up, but it is still raining. So it's going to be another hour and a half now before my next stop. So just going to sit back for a while and relax, and I'll update you after I leave there. Alright, guys, just leaving this casino. It was an awful session. Went to the high limit area. There was one table that had no one sitting on it, and the other one was full. So I sit down at this table, start playing, and right away things are going real well. I'm up $600 after the first shoe. Things are going fine. I'm like, this is good. Just keep on rolling with it. And then second shoe, things evened out. And then third, fourth, fifth, sixth shoe. Every shoe after that was really rough. I got counts in the minus 19, 18 range, beginning of 3 or 4 shoes, and had to just sit there and min bet the whole time, waiting for things to turn around, only to get to like a running +5 with a half deck to go right when they end the shoe, and can't bet any big bets. Had a couple okay shoes, but I played for quite a while. I was there for an hour and 50 minutes. I got involved as much as, I was down as much as $2,700 and just couldn't get things going. And then I had a couple bursts where I got back up to even. I probably got to even and I had $200 or $300 probably 5 times, but couldn't get past it. Then I would slide back down. It'd be minus 2,000, come back up, and over again. And finally, there was one shoe where I said, that's it, I'm going to leave after the shoe as long as I'm ahead. And beginning of the shoe goes great. I'm ahead already, but count is high, so I don't leave and just get destroyed at the end of that shoe. And then a couple shoes later, finally, I end up finishing a shoe plus 100, and I said, I got to go. So plus 100, unfortunately, not the way I wanted things to go down, but there's not much I could do. I did everything the way I was supposed to. Yeah, it was just one of those times. And the dealer was making mistakes like crazy. Like, she'd say that she had a 19 when she had an 18, and I didn't correct her because every time she won the hand anyway, so I didn't want to correct her. I was waiting for when she made a mistake that it would be in my favor, but correcting her and having her pay more attention when it doesn't matter for that hand anyway. I lost it anyway. Why say, hey, no, you had an 18. Well, I lost anyway. Why would I correct her and have her watch more closely? So eventually I ended up with an 8-3 against I don't know. Anyway, I ended up doubling down and getting an ace, and I didn't say anything. And she drew to 19 with 3 or 4 cards. I think 4 cards total, and she paid my bet out. So I'm not going to say anything. But she made so many mistakes. I don't know. She was just off. And she told me that she had been in the lower limit pit for about 4 months, and she didn't know why. I think I have an idea why, because you were probably screwing up so badly. But she was super nice, super sweet, older lady. I've known her for years at this place, and I'm not going to get her in trouble. And she corrected 1 or 2 times that she was wrong, and without even calling the pit over, which is good for me, good for her. So anyway, walked around and looked at slot machines as well, just looking for anything that I could make money on, and everything was cleaned out. In fact, a lot of the machines were reset. Like when you put a new machine out, there's certain levels that look like they're reset. So you'll go through all the different betting levels, and they'll all have the same picture, the same reels up, whatever, cherry, apple, pineapple, whatever the heck they have on there. And you go to the next, 2 cents and it's the same, 5 cents it's the same, 5 cents, second level, third level, it's all the same. So that tells you that it's reset. And in fact, a couple of the machines that I play that are advantage, you can get an advantage on, were completely turned off. And a couple of them that were recently put in a nearby casino were removed from this casino. So everything's going the wrong direction with this casino. So right now I'm gonna move on to the next place. It's already late now. It's already about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and haven't really done much. So very frustrating right now. Gonna move on to a place where I should not make too much, but we'll give it a shot and then figure out where to go from there. So that's all for now. I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. Oh man, still toiling away here, trying to make it happen, and it's just not happening. Went into the next place, found a couple decent plays, played those through, ended down $2. Found another play on the way out, hit that one okay, got me ahead slightly, and then one more play, ended up losing a couple dollars, and ended that session plus $16. So, I was complaining, I think I recall I was complaining about how I only made $1,500 yesterday. Now that sounds like a lot of money compared to what's going on today. So, yeah, heading off to another casino right now. Just not our day today. But we're doing all the right things. We get an A+ for everything that we're doing today. Sometimes it's just not available. So, Anyway, temperature right now is still staying pretty steady around where it was this morning. It stopped raining, and hopefully it stays good until I get home. Just hold off until I get home. So right now, heading off to another place about 45 minutes from here. We're going to go in there and hopefully win a couple hundred, I guess. I guess a couple hundred's a big deal today. And I'll come back and give you an update on the good news. All right, guys, I am back. Oh, it's just been still a horrendous day. I walked into this place and found a play right away. Sat down, started playing, and it was just paying so little. And I kept going and kept going, kept going. Finally got to the end of the play and ended that part down, I want to say $5.50 or something like that. At $3 a spin, I'm down $5.50. So I move on. I'm looking around. I will admit there was a borderline play that I took, but that play actually ended up working out pretty well. Made like $40 or $50 on that, and then started looking at the machines that people don't usually check. There was another borderline play, and that one actually paid me about $100. And then I had a couple that, set me back, and I was to the point where I'd been there for about an hour or so, and I was down 800, and I found a play, played that through, made like $50. And I'm so frustrated at this point. And then I find a big play, and I know it's going to cost me a lot of money, but I'm willing to take that risk at this point. It was a positive play, but I knew it's going to take a while to play it through. So I sat down, started playing, and it keeps doing all the trickery where it gives you all these small hits on the run up, and that's not really what you're chasing, and it pays these side things and 100 here, 100 there, but slowly it's draining it. So when I got to that machine, I was in for 800 and I was down like 475. I ended up losing the money that I had in the machine, so now I'm down 800. I put in 100 and lost that. Put in another 100 and hung around with that for about 10 or 15 minutes. Got up to about 350, 400, and then lost that. And then I put in another 100. Anyway, ended up in for a total of 1,200 total. And this thing is supposed to have paid a long time ago, and I'm still waiting. It doesn't usually take this long, just putting me through the ringer. And it's one of those things, I without telling you the exact situation, the exact machine and everything, it's hard to explain, but it's one of those things where the next spin could have been the spin. And I'll give you an example. You have a must hit by 5,000, right? It's at 4,998. Do you really expect it to go to 5,000? I usually don't, right? And if it's going up by a penny for every $10, totally made up number, it could still take you, 200 times $10. It could take you another $2,000 to hit it. But if you've already invested $3,000 or $4,000 in the machine, you don't want it to go all the way, because you're going to end up losing money. And that's kind of like the situation that I was at. But in the end, I actually ended up paying the best case scenario. At the end there, I ended up having some nice hits, and then I won. And I went from being down, at my low point I was down $1,170 to leaving down $39. So, I was excited. I was happy. It was the best case scenario that I could think of. 20 minutes before, I thought it would be better than that, but it ended up being the best case scenario in the end, and it ended up leaving down $39. So, take a deep breath. It's one of those days. I think I paid for my gas today. That's probably about it. How much did we make today? $100? $120? Not very much. Yeah. Well, on the positive side, the sky is clearing up here. The sun has come out, so it's warmed up to a nice warm 46 degrees Fahrenheit. I am heading toward another shop. I think I'm going to go ahead and go in there. Just depends on how timing is. I'd like to get home early, but we'll see how traffic is first. So tonight is the first night of me working the extra hours at work. So when I get home, I will need to be monitoring some systems all the way until I go to sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, someone else will have it. And I'll just have to do it in the evenings right now. And then on the weekends, log in every 3 or 4 hours and see if there's any kind of alert and take care of that. So that's, to me, that's not a bad deal. And in fact, we are going to be traveling for Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to mention where yet until it's over, but because of having that extra day off, I was able to extend my vacation. So I'll actually be able to spend more days on my trip. And then Christmas time, also, I was able to extend it because, for example, Thanksgiving is Thursday and Friday that you're off work, and I'm already off Wednesday. Now I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday without taking any time off. So then if I take Monday off, now I have 6 days off, and it only costs me 1 day of vacation. So it's a really, really good situation, and I'm glad that we did it this way. It really helps me out a lot. So right now I am heading on to the next spot, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. So I go into this place, and it was like a convention for advantage players. Everybody was everywhere, and even people who have been banned from other casinos were here. A husband and wife were here, and I did not have a very pleasant outlook ahead of me, I didn't think. So start walking around, check out a machine. It seemed reasonable, played it through, made like $20. Walked around, found a couple other plays, up a few dollars, down a few dollars, but really didn't find much. And then as I was getting ready to leave, I saw one of these people that I had talked about in the past on the podcast, that he and his wife were bothering people, and people were trying to get them ejected from casinos and things like that. And I talked to him for a few minutes. I'm not sure. That might have been the first time I ever talked to him, other than just a nod, just seeing each other and just nod. And he asked me how I was doing. I told him not too good today, and he said something I couldn't understand, and we laughed for a minute and walked away. And I was on my way out, so I took one more lap around a couple machines, and actually, that first machine that I played, I lost $25 on, because I went to another machine and made 25, I remember, or 29, something like that. I remember that. So anyway, on my way out, he had just gotten off the machine, the exact machine that I had lost the $25 on when I first walked in. So I go over there, and I'm like, "Zoink, Scoob, this is awesome." It was like a perfect play. It was just sitting there. He had just left a perfect play at $4 to spin, and didn't realize it, or didn't admit to himself, whatever. So he had just gotten up. I sit down, first spin for $4. At this point, I'm up $3.97. Spin this thing, and it hits for $205. It's just like unbelievable. I netted anyway. So I hit that, and his wife came around, and she's like, "Oh, very good." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I don't know why someone left it here like this." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And she smiled, and she walked away. But in the end, I ended up leaving ahead 209, I believe. And I'm always second guessing myself because, out of sight, out of mind here. So, yeah, 209. So won 209 there, which is more than I made the whole day. Other than that. And I don't know if I want to do anything else now. It's getting kind of late, and the sun's starting to go down. It's almost down, actually. and you got to consider my options here. Right now, I'm going to continue on the current route, depending on what you say, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, just continuing on my trip here. Weather is starting to get cold now. Now we're into the 30s for the temperature. The sun is down, and we expect the temperature to drop about 15 degrees in the next 4 or 5 hours. So it'd be good to be getting home. And tomorrow I have to be at the office. I will probably leave for lunch. I will probably pick up my free food and see what I can do at lunchtime. And then we're going to have a huge Wednesday. Wednesday, I have a pretty good idea of where I'm going. Most likely, we're going to be hitting 2 or 3 blackjack casinos, and then only about 1 or 2 slots only places. And then Thursday also is going to be a big day. Man, it's going to be a long week here. A lot of miles. I got a little bit of bad news here for you. As I was pulling into the gas station earlier today, I'm pulling in and I hear a grinding noise, and that would be the brakes on this car. So the car that keeps on giving, right? So I'm going to need to get some new brakes. Sounds like they're the rear brakes, so not the biggest emergency in the world, but it's to the point where they have that little metal thing that grinds against the rotor when you're getting close. So that's where I am right now. So I called someone and asked them if he knew anybody who could do it for me quickly, because my friend that I usually do this with is still building out a new dealership for exotic cars. So he hasn't had the time to even finish my wife's van, much less help me with miscellaneous stuff. So I'm hoping that'll come through. And I was going to take it there tonight and have him keep it for tomorrow, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. We might have to shoot for this weekend. I hate to drive another 1,500 or 2,000 miles like this, but I think I'm going to have to. That's going to be so great to have an extra car when I get my car back. So, yeah, anyway, what I was saying, it's going to be a very long day, Wednesday and Thursday, 2 different areas, different states, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, give me just a minute. I'll be right back. All right, guys. Anyway, what I was just thinking is tomorrow, when I get some time, I'm going to stop by the dollar store. I don't know if you guys have those in your area, but dollar store, you can get a lot of great things for $1 or $1.25. And I like to get my snacks, chewing gum, things like that from there. And I'll load up. I'll go in there and get $20 or $30 worth of stuff. And you can get some protein stuff there. You can get sunflower seeds, gum, some nice candy that isn't going to go bad, jar of peanuts, which is like $3 in the store, $4 in the store. You can get it for $1 there. So there's a lot of good things. And I like to get coconut water as well. You can keep that in the car. It's most likely not going to explode unless it's way below zero. But I like to have that just in case. Gives you a little bit of sugar if you need it, and just an overall good place. And I get my batteries from there. Who the heck pays $8 for 4 AA batteries? I pay $1.25. They seem to last just as long, and half the time if they're in kids' toys, I don't want them to last long anyway, so it wouldn't matter. But I suggest that you do try that. There's some really good snacks and things that I get from there, and the kids love going too. So anyway, that's that. Yeah, tomorrow, or Wednesday and tomorrow, we're going to be grouped together into one episode, so it'll be a day with no episode released. And I'm going to be getting some sushi Wednesday. I'm excited about that. But I think that's about it for now. If you guys have any questions or comments, you know how to get a hold of me. mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.